Hey, this is Pastor Jane McDonnough, and I am the AFCM regional for the Gulf Coast of the United States for AFCM, and also pastor right here at Faith Life Church. And I want to share the Faith Aid this month, and I want to share with you about these uncertain times that we're in. Really, can I just say to you first, you are so valuable as a leader during these times. And as pastors, as ministers, as those that are leading congregations, leading ministries, we have a voice and we need to share our voice during these times. And recently I was on a podcast or listening to a podcast, actually part of a webinar, where they were talking about how to lead in these uncertain times. And they shared some things, and I'm going to take some of those things, but I'm going to put them more in faith terms where they relate to us. But here are three things that I believe that we as leaders, and especially as leaders in the body of Christ, pastors, ministers, that we need to make sure that we are communicating in these uncertain times. And so here are three things. Number one, we need to communicate reality. Number two, we need to communicate confidence. We could also, instead of saying confidence, we could say we need to communicate faith. And then the third thing we need to communicate as leaders is we need to communicate compassion. And so let's just unpack these three things as a leader. And here's the first thing, reality. Now, when I'm talking about communicating reality, I'm not talking about speaking doubt. I'm not talking about just talking about the circumstances around us, but as a leader, people want to know that you are connected with what is going on. And you know, when I've spoken to my church here, I've told them these are uncertain times. We are in an unprecedented time in our nation, in our world, in the church. We've never seen days like this before. There is a virus out there. COVID-19 is a real virus. Now, do we have authority over the virus? Certainly we do. But you know what? Our folks want to know that we are in touch with reality. I heard a pastor friend of mine say this years ago, and I've used it several times. You may have used it too, and that is that we can't be like an ostrich, and that is just sticking our head in the sand. And she went on to say that if you just stick your head in the sand, you might get kicked in your rear end. Well, listen, right now, we need to make sure that we are communicating reality, that we know things are tough. We know some of them may be enduring some hardships. Some of them may have lost their jobs. These are troubled times that we're in. But here's the second thing you need to communicate as a leader. You need to communicate confidence. Now, this is where we really, in the faith world, we should shine because we've got the promises of God. In fact, in uncertain times, we need to rely on those things that are always certain. Come on, you know what they are. The promises of God, healing, protection, Psalm 91. So we also need to communicate then to our people, we will get through this. Is this rough? Yes, but we're going to make it to the other side. The story of Jesus in the boat with the disciples. A storm came up. Listen, just because we have faith doesn't exempt us from storms. And we need to make sure, though, that people understand that right in the middle of the storm, we need to have faith, but faith doesn't mean you won't have a storm. But communicate confidence. We're going to make it to the other side. We're going to get through this. God's promises are true. God will take care of us. He will protect you. He will heal you. He will restore your job. He will provide for you. Come on, I'm talking to faith people. Communicate confidence to your people. And in communicate confidence, tell them what you do know. Here's what I know. We're going to be meeting again as a church. Do I know when? No, but I know we're going to meet again. And I know until we meet again, God will be with each one of us. God will protect us, He'll keep us, and He'll provide for us. Now, here's the third thing that we want to also communicate, and this is so important. We want to communicate compassion. And I like to just put it this way. We need to be the church. You know, God's just been awakening in me lately the need to seize this opportunity as an opportunity to really grow in the meaning of and the reality of what it means to be the church. Yeah, we can't gather on Sunday, and honestly, I think we've maybe rested a little bit too much on church being on Sunday, and now we've had to learn how to do church Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Thank God for all the Zoom meetings going on and people using other resources to video chat, online streaming. Wow, there's a lot of things going on right now. But in the midst of those, we also need to communicate compassion. We need to be the church. We need to say, hey, I'm aware that you might be going through a hard time. What can the church do? What can you do to help people? Now, we have, everybody has a different budget for resources, for benevolence. But here's what we keep asking ourselves. With the funds that we have, what can we do for our church people? And we've been communicating with them. We've been finding out who's lost a job. Maybe some didn't lose a job, but just their salary has been decreased or the number of hours that they're working has been decreased. We've been finding out where our people are, and then we've been telling them what we can do. We can give you a gift card, a grocery gift card. We're going to have a grocery or a food drive here where people are going to bring in bags of groceries, and we're going to help our community. What can we do? One of our church members provided us a link with the local government that's providing some resources so we can provide them that link. What can we do? We realize people are hurting right now. How about our senior citizens? Are there people in the nursing home? We need to be the church. And one of the things that we've done in communicating compassion is the last week we've been looking at the fact that we need to get our people back involved in church, more of them involved. We've been involved in some outreaches, but we're on Facebook Live, and we also are on a YouTube channel. Well, how about our greeters who normally would greet at the door every Sunday? Why don't they get on our Facebook page and greet everybody? And so we're rounding up our greeters. We're rounding up our outreach team they're in charge on Friday to go on our social media and share, and get other people to share. We want to get the church back involved. We want the church to tell us people that they could reach out to, that they could pray for. We want them making calls and checking on people. Team members, small groups. We have small groups going on through Zoom. We want everybody to be involved. We want to communicate compassion. So we want to communicate reality. We want to communicate confidence. And we want to communicate compassion. I think as leaders, if we will communicate all three of these things, then I think when we get through this season, we will be better than we were when we went into this season. I believe AFCM will be better and will be stronger. That's one of the things that the Lord said to me during this time is, Pastor Jane as a person, make sure you use this season to get better. I know some of you, we're already better at online streaming. We had to get better. We're better now at connecting with our people in different ways because we had to find new tools to connect with them. So listen, my prayer for every one of us in AFCM and for AFCM as a whole is that when we get through this season, and we will, that we would be better. We would be better believers. We would be better leaders, pastors, ministers, and we would be better churches, and AFCM overall would be better. Listen, we love you guys. So grateful for AFCM and the Casemans, and so grateful for all of you. God bless you.